to episode 49 of the Crazy Hockey Dads podcast, the unfiltered podcast for hockey parents. No politics, no sugarcoating, just real talk for hockey parents in the trenches.
Yo, my guy.
I don't know why I couldn't do it for the last month and a half.
That's all right. You figured it out.
So it's the first time we've done it right in like 2 months.
Potentially.
It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting, just 1% every day.
Every day.
Every day.
So
1%.
I wish my kid would do that nice hockey.
It just made me think of, you ever see any UFC clips or pay attention to UFC at all?
Sure.
So you know that fighter Sean O'Malley?
Yes.
So he got an endorsement.
Right. From?
I forget. I should probably just look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
But it's, he got a tattoo across his forehead.
Stop it.
I swear to God. Let's see.
And
Sean O'Malley.
he's got the company across his forehead? Yeah. Come on. Really?
Yeah, let's see.
Is that almost as bad as putting your girlfriend on you somewhere?
Here we go. Here, this is on Instagram. It says, doing well. Here, take a look.
That's the name of the company, Doing Well?
I guess. But it's an 8-figure endorsement, and he got that tattoo across his forehead.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
I mean, there's everyone's getting them removed, so it's like kind of like if their permanent tattoos are now removable. I mean, it's not crazy.
So I have a policy.
Do you?
I do.
What's the policy?
Policy is to get. Nah, it's just my policy. It doesn't mean. But my policy is tattoos that are able to be covered.
Yeah.
In like clothing.
Yeah.
So when you go to like, I don't know, business meeting, job interview.
Yeah. Not visible.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it did you ever see there's an Instagram clip, or it's a clip on social media somewhere. It's a girl sitting in her car.
Yeah.
Okay. And she was applying for like a position at like, I don't know, like TJ Maxx or something. It was something like that.
Like an hourly position?
Like an hourly position in like a retail store.
Yeah.
Right. And she's sitting in her car and she's sitting in the front seat and the camera's facing her. Mm-hmm. Right. Her phone's facing her. And she's going, I just don't know why I didn't get hired at TJ Maxx. They said that they were going to go in a different direction. This girl has tattoos and piercings all over her face. And you're like, I wonder why they didn't want. I wonder why they passed on you.
my first
I don't know. Maybe it's because you have ink all over your face. I'm just saying.
It's
just a shot in the dark.
That's like a low hanging fruit video that one could record and say about anything.
But she's sitting there and
do you think she's being sincere? Like she really is?
I do.
Yeah. Really?
It sure looked like she was, and she's going, I really don't know why they passed on me.
This is a question that's like really important. Why do you turn into Kermit the Frog when you are imitating?
It's not really Kermit the Frog. It's just like
No, it's Kermit. It's very good Kermit. I bet if we should put you side by side with Kermit. That would be amazing. Actually, we're definitely gonna do that.
I think maybe we need like a Kermit like stuffed animal, like as like a mascot,
or
put him like right here,
or like maybe I'll superimpose Kermit's face on your face during the interview while you're talking like him.
I mean, listen, you can.
That'd be fun.
But listen, this girl like straight up like
maybe it was because you sounded like Kermit the Frog.
Well, she didn't sound like Kermit. It's just me being stupid. But yeah, that's what that makes me think. Listen, he's obviously a UFC fighter. He's not gonna like go apply for a job at like Merrill Lynch tomorrow. So I don't think it's gonna be an issue. But that's super aggressive. Like, let me ask you a question: what's worse? Mm-hmm. Getting your girlfriend's wife tattooed on you like that, or like your sponsor?
Wait, what?
Like your
girlfriend's wife?
People have like your girlfriend or wife tattooed.
Oh, girlfriend or wife.
Sorry, maybe I didn't say that clearly. Your girlfriend or wife tattooed on you.
Yeah.
Right? Because let me ask you a question: Is there
your wife's like her name or like a picture or like a portrait?
Yeah, they always say like you shouldn't get your girlfriend or wife tattooed on you because God forbid. I mean, the divorce rate's not low in this country, right? So like, there's going to be a time where doing well, I don't even know what doing well is, but I'm assuming there's a time where doing well is maybe not going to be sponsoring him.
Yeah, when he's like on the ground unconscious and he's clearly not doing so well.
Listen, you said it was an eight figure?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, it's clearly a decent amount of money. So I get why he tattooed it on himself, but on the forehead?
Well, yeah, so just to bring this full circle.
Like, dude, that's across his fucking forehead.
No, I know. It's a daily reminder whenever he looks in the mirror. So I was thinking, this is to bring this all full circle.
I guess.
The whole point was that you were saying you wish your kid had embraced the 1%, improvement
Better
per day.
Yeah.
Like,
so what does that have to do with it?
Well, you could just tattoo it on his forehead as a daily reminder, like that.
Yeah.
So that closes the loop on my thinking. There.
Yeah. So when he goes for a job interview one day, they can see the thing tattooed across the top.
And they'll know that he's a winner because clearly every day he reminds himself that he just needs to be 1% better.
I suppose you have a point.
And then in every meeting and everywhere he goes is a constant reminder to be 1% better. Everyone.
Listen, you have a point. I just don't know if tattooing on the face is the smart move.
Listen, I'm not for that. I'm just joking. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. I don't mind tattoos just on the face.
Yeah, well, listen, they're
super aggressive.
Yeah. But at the same time, so many people are getting tattoos. Anyway, whatever tattoos.
They are, by the way. Speaking of, I have actually thought about removing the one on my arm.
Really?
I have, yeah.
Why?
I got it when I was in college. I have one like on my in between my shoulder blades, which is my dad's initials, who's been gone for like 10, 12 years. I'm not sure what it is, 10 or 12. I think it's 12. So I have that. That I won't get removed. But the one on my arm is unnecessary.
Yeah.
Okay. I've kicked it around.
Go for it.
Yeah. Listen, one day.
Orly's sister.
Maybe we'll record it and put it on the Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. We don't do it. But anyway, yeah. Orly's sister had it removed?
Having one removed.
Oh, she is?
She only has one, and it's on the top of her hand.
Is it multiple
appointments?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about tattoos.
Got it. So, episode 49, almost at 50, by the way.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we closed out last year strong.
Yeah. This
year's starting off strong. So
that's an understatement.
Yeah, glad to be back for another one. And dude, what an episode today, right?
Yeah, Ryan Murphy, a skills coach from the New Jersey Devils. I mean, he's a beauty.
Yeah, without a doubt. So this is our second interview.
Our second New Jersey Devil.
So thanks to the Devils organization.
Thank you to the Devils and Pete Albeets for okaying our interviews. He's been very, very good to us.
Yeah. And so, Ryan's been 7 years with the Devils organization as skill coordinator. And as we'll learn, he wears a lot of different hats.
He does.
And, he's kind of like an extension of the coaching staff. Obviously, just like Angelo is.
Smart
as well.
dude.
Yeah, just, does a lot of individual work with players, group work as well.
Super smart.
So it was really great to listen to him, obviously, and also learn more about what it's like in the professional game, which is clearly different.
Yes.
In terms as you would expect, but to what extent? I guess I wasn't sure, but just for example, the fact that for our kids and even older than our kids, they have practice 2 to 3 days a week, and then they have their games on the weekends or whatever. That's obviously not the case when you get to that level, and they're playing week games and
they don't practice as long as we thought they did.
Yeah,
that was crazy to hear.
Yeah,
that was actually I was really surprised to hear that.
Right,
but it makes sense when you break it down that their bodies. Listen, they're not all 18-year-old kids, you need to take care of your body, and
between the travel
and they're
schedule,
playing what do you say? They're playing, every other day essentially,
more or less,
basically,
especially
right? For the most part,
the short year because of the last year they had 4 nations, and this year they have
the Olympics.
So it's even more condensed.
No, speaking of the Olympics, man, is that rink going to be ready?
I mean, there was a hole in it the other day.
What the fuck, dude?
I
mean, is the NHL not screaming at these people? Yeah, hopefully in Italian. We just need a translator. Somebody translate our.
I think most people understand the facial expressions when you're saying, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Think about it, though. I mean, that's not all right. So not
they
only
had to stop a game, right? They stopped the game because there was an Italian league semifinal something, and they had to stop the game because a hole developed in the ice.
I mean, so not only is it short. Right? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, is it 3 feet short? Is that the number?
Yes, but I think generally speaking, most people don't care about that.
I don't think so either, because everybody has to play on the same playing surface. So it's not going to be an advantage for one team or the other. So that is, but, I mean, is it, Fine, that's fine. The
Fine.
rink,
Put
the
that
rink,
aside.
the rink
It's like,
length.
is it a blunder? It
It's a
seems
ball
like
bust,
yes,
but yes,
it's
it is
like, okay.
100% a blunder.
You can put
but
that
it's
aside.
but it's like able to be dealt with. But like, is it going to be finished? Like, is it going to be
Well,
finished?
when you say finish, are you talking about the ice surface, or are you talking
the
about
whole
the
thing,
No,
the whole building, the whole. Isn't it being renovated as we speak?
100%.
I mean, so they don't have a lot of time. I'm pretty sure that starts the end of February.
The ice is there, and the seats are there.
Right.
But like, there's still like construction happening in terms.
That's
of
what I
like,
mean. Like,
walls
is
and like.
it going to be done?
Apparently, only something like 2 of like 14 locker rooms are completed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know the NHL sent over like a team of people to like help and to make sure that the playing surface was going to be safe for the players.
Well, hole in it doesn't sound like
Well,
it's going
that's
to be safe.
that's what I mean. I mean, so I guess, but you hear this all the time with these
The Olympics,
these,
and
with
like
the
how
Olympics in
things
these
are always a
countries.
rush to the finish.
Yeah, man. Like the construction never goes as planned.
No, yeah, man. Crazy. The logistics behind getting a city ready for Olympics when you don't have infrastructure is got to be
100%.
a massive undertaking.
100%.
Massive is probably an understatement, but still,
Probably,
it's like,
yeah. No, but I'm looking forward to it,
oh, so much, especially after the World Juniors.
dude. Speaking of World Juniors,
Yeah, womp womp. Yeah, no doubt. But listen, after 2 golds, it's not like it's like another year of disappointment. Like, yes, it was a disappointing outcome.
Yeah, it
However,
was, yeah.
like the USA junior national team has been doing well, and there was a lot of talent on that ice.
There's no question about it. I think that the U.S. men's national development program and the World Juniors, as far as the U.S. goes, is on the upswing.
Well, it's interesting when you say that, because I was just listening to Chicklets, and they were just talking about how so many players on the U.S. the men's Olympic team, not the juniors,
the Olympic
but
team,
the Olympic
that's
team,
for Italy, yeah.
Many of them played for the national
For the World
program.
Juniors?
No, for the
Oh,
development
for the
program.
yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And probably juniors
Yeah.
also, but apparently there was
Yeah.
yeah.
That doesn't surprise me actually.
No. But they were speaking to kind of like the politicalness and like the and that if you're on the
Interesting.
outside kind of looking in on that group.
For the Olympic team.
Well, if
Or for
if
the
you-
New York,
no, so for the I
US
forget
men's
what
national.
player they were using as an example,
Right.
but they were using someone as an example, saying like, oh, Robertson. They were talking about how
Oh
Robertson
yeah,
didn't
he
play
got he got snubbed.
right, and so they were just kind of talking that out. And
J-Rob?
and
Yeah.
someone was mentioning how like he didn't play, NTDP.
He didn't?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Well, this is all secondhand. Like, I'd have to look it up. I honestly don't know off the top of my head.
Interesting.
I'm just like recalling what I was listening to, and someone made the point of like, oh well, he didn't play, and
Right.
maybe because he's never played with those guys at any point of his career.
Oh, isn't that
like,
interesting?
he might, that might have been a contributing factor to him not being.
That's
selected.
actually very interesting. You say that. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. Actually, I didn't. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize he
like
didn't
the
play
politics
U.S.
and
men's.
of
Right. Did the Kachucks play U.S. men's?
I don't know all these
Yeah, I
off
don't
the
either.
top of my head. You have to take a look.
Yeah.
But look, I'm sure not everyone on the team did, but like if
Yeah.
you're like an
Yeah,
outsider
yeah,
looking
yeah.
in and you're choosing between 2 players and you're like, oh, that guy played
Yeah.
NTTP and the other one didn't, like it sounds like they're making the point that perhaps that was a contributing factor.
Speaking of, what are your thoughts on the roster that was picked?
On the US roster?
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Do
Do you like it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do?
Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah?
mean, look, and I've listened to a bunch of podcasts and
Yeah.
I think like the reoccurring theme is that you're choosing from such a wealth of riches.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many good players. Like great players are not going to make the team. And
Right.
the more you listen to people kind of talk about it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you don't
yeah.
look at like a player in a vacuum and be like, he's tremendous, he should be on the team.
No, that's
When
true.
you talk about like constructing a team top to
Yeah.
bottom, where you need to have like 4 lines, and you're playing best on best.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to have like 4 skill lines. Like while these players are
Right.
all super highly skilled,
Yeah, yeah.
like you're constructing a team to win games in different situations, and so it's not like, So the more I listen to different pods and
Right.
people kind of like tease that apart, it's like, yeah, I mean, look, they're a super solid team. It sounds,
Yeah, they are.
you know,
they definitely are.
when you look at Canada and you just,
Dude, that's frightening.
like their offense is
That's frightening.
like,
it's frightening, Scott.
Unreal.
It's
unreal.
frightening. It's absolutely frightening.
Unreal.
Like, it's frightening.
So like when you see that, but then also you know,
But it was the same thing for Four Nations. It was a space the same
but
roster, you know.
people are saying that
Minus
the
a couple
U.S.
guys.
defense.
The U.S. defense is legit,
than
man.
the Canadian defense.
I think that's
and
true.
And Canada,
100%.
scales tip towards their offense.
100%. And that the U.S. defense is actually like frightening.
Yeah.
You got Faber, McCoy, you got Hannafin,
McAvoy.
Hughes, Seth Jones
Yeah,
was not on Four Nations. That was a nice little ad.
right. Well,
you know?
yeah, that was a name that's come up.
Yes.
That, like why him instead of someone else?
Yeah.
And you know, just like
Listen, he played well last year.
no, he's been tremendous since
Yeah,
he left.
since he left Chicago.
yeah.
Yeah. And Jacob Slavin is an absolute fucking stud.
Yeah.
Like a
I
defensive
mean,
stud.
he's a name for the U.S. that just they couldn't stop talking about against Connor McDavid. How he just did such a good job.
He's
Four Nations of
He's
shutting.
so good. And then
Yeah.
you have Werenski, obviously, you know, I mean, and our goalies are tremendous.
Right.
I'm curious.
Quinn Hughes.
Quinn Hughes is a total stud. Did I not say Quinn Hughes? My bad. I think I missed Quinn Hughes. If I did, sorry. Quinn Hughes is because he wasn't on the Four Nations. He was hurt.
Yeah, people were saying how come Fox didn't make the team. And like,
Who are you going to put him in over?
No,
over Seth Jones.
No,
because Fox made the Four Nations.
Fox made the Four Nations. He's not on this team.
So was that it was Fox for Seth Jones?
No, I don't think that they were saying like it was this one for that one, but just again when you're constructing an entire team.
Well, listen,
like. You know, you got Werenski, you have Hughes, like you know, in terms of like.
So Hughes and Jones
play.
are your new additions on the defensive side, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's listen, like Trocheck, like what?
Yeah, so that was
What do you
a name
think of
that's
that?
come up. I mean, I don't know. I again,
I hate the fucking Rangers.
but JT Miller also.
Oh, I also don't get me started with that either. By the way,
Yeah,
I question that one as well.
Yeah, but
you know?
Again, it's speaking to like having guys on the team that are going to be like that are super talented, but also like grinders, you know, and that are going to go in and throw the body.
Jason Robertson
and just brings but people. I mean, again, I don't watch a lot of Dallas Stars hockey, but he's not the most physical person.
No, but he's. Okay, fair.
No, but that's like
fair.
the point. Like, I mean, how many guys like are you going to take that have the same skill set? Like, you need to have a diverse group that's going to be able to, you know, bring fear, bring intensity, bring all different aspects of the game.
I mean, I'm looking at our forwards, and I'm not seeing like a lot of like really physical.
Tage
Thompson, he's huge.
He's huge.
He
was just on Chicklets too.
Well, actually, I take it back because the Chucks are very physical.
Oh yeah.
You know. Trocheck though, that is a head scratcher for me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand that one. You know, because they left off a bunch. Listen, a lot of guys didn't make it. You know, that I think you can make an argument for.
Yeah.
You know, listen, it's gonna be awesome anyway.
It will be awesome
As
long as there's ice without holes to skate on. I think we should be in for a treat.
Well said. Well said.
Man.
Yes. Yeah. So all right. So what do you want to touch on? I know we want to talk if you have a second. I know we had a question about the transition between Pee Wee and Bantam.
Oh.
If we want to chat about that for a couple minutes, should we do our partners first?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, Howie's Hockey.
Howie's Hockey, Crazy 10.
Use a discount code.
Use your discount code for 10% off your tape, laces, wax. Scott's favorite, the candles.
Candle.
Their sweatshirts are awesome. Their logo is one of the coolest in all of youth hockey. It's my favorite. So use Crazy 10 for 10% off. We have Angelo Circe at Pro Stride Elite Power Skating. He is great. CHD 10 for 10% off the power skates. Angelo's great. He was on episode 40. Oh man,
I don't know.
4?
I don't remember.
Maybe you look
Let's
it up
see.
while I'm
I'll look
talking.
it up.
Angelo is great. He is an awesome power skating coach. If the New Jersey Devils trust him, so should you.
There you go. Thanks.
Listen, I know you were looking something up. I gotcha. No, he's great. He's Otto and Dom went to him recently. He's fantastic. He's a really, really insightful guy. If you guys have not heard his episode, I want to say it's 44. But Scott's looking up as we speak. But
No.
No?
No.
Shit, what is it?
43.
43.
4-3.
I was close. Close. Yeah, so Angelo's great. And then we have Eric from API.
Yep, Athletic Performance Insight. Anyone looking for analytics and video breakdown of your team, your youth team, your high school team, your college team. I know the season's well underway for all of us, and if it's not for this year, start thinking about it for next year. Check out athleticperformanceinsight.com. Use the contact form, reach out to Eric. He'll happily give you a demo of the platform that he's built. Super robust. Great. We use it for Otto's team. I've used it for Otto's team in the past.
Yeah, you've used it for a while now.
And it's just a fantastic tool. So encourage everyone to take a look and mention Crazy Hockey Dads for 10% off of the season subscription. And he'll also tag a game for free. So reach out to him, get familiar, and start thinking about it because it's a great tool.
Yeah, and thank you to everybody who's downloading and who's following us on Instagram. Our Instagram has been very active.
Yeah, it's been great to see
for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
That's kind of exploded and is driving people to the podcast. Our downloads tripled, which is
unreal. Yeah.
So thank you to all our new people. It's from all over the globe, U.S., Canada. It's from all over the globe. We added 7 new countries. It's actually hard to keep up with now. But it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and really just want to make mention to where you're listening from to say thanks. Really appreciate the support. Please subscribe to the show. Follow us on Instagram. Whatever you can do to help support us would be appreciated.
Yeah, share, comment, whatever you can do. Write us if you have any questions. Right,
and please send. We got a few. No, we only got one.
Which one?
No, the ODR.
The ODRs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Send pictures, guys. We want to see what everyone's getting up to in your neck of the woods. ODRs and any fun you guys are having out there. So
yes,
we want to put something together. Yeah.
And ODRs are fun.
Yeah, I was out there twice with Otto this year.
Yeah, you were. That's right.
Yeah.
It's
cool. It's interesting. It's been a year since I've been on, and when I stopped on, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot when it gets all bumpy and you end up with a twig underneath your skates.
Yeah.
But no, it's great, man.
What's funny is that last night I couldn't sleep for some reason, so I was up, and I was and I never do this because we've had. Like I said, our Instagram has kind of exploded, and it's hard to keep track of followers. So I just happened to start scrolling through some people on posts.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I'm start seeing people that I didn't know were following us that are following us.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, some of the names that you see popping up.
Yeah, I've seen some people I know also.
Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty and again, it's been hard to follow since our Instagram's been doing very nicely. So we can't really follow it. Because it's not easy to follow when you're getting, people every 3 minutes, which is cool. Again, thank you everybody for doing that. It's wonderful. Scott and I are, I think Scott and I are humbled and appreciative, surprised,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool to see people that that you didn't even know were listening to the podcast that are now following us on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's cool. So thank you everybody. We really appreciate it. We have started off 2026 with a major bang.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff to come. So stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
What's interesting about today's episode is that we're recording before we have any weekend hockey in the bank.
I was thinking about that. It's funny you said that. We can't do Stacy and Larry are not going to be happy because they like hearing the recap. So we're going to have to go back and do it next week, but it's going to be delayed. Yeah, it's going to be delayed a little bit. But
either way,
it's funny you mentioned.
So we have 2 games. We got one later on today, one early tomorrow.
Same.
As
you have early tomorrow morning too?
Yeah, I think our games are pretty much around the same time.
We have an 8:30 tomorrow morning. You guys same?
Later. No, we're
you guys are later?
5 today and 11 tomorrow, I think.
Okay.
But we're looking to redeem ourselves this weekend after not the best opening to 2026. So hopefully the boys will have a chip on their shoulder and get after it because sheesh.
Yes.
It would be nice to get back to some winning ways over here.
Yes. Dom and his new stick have some work to do today.
Oh, yeah. So what?
Otto's new stick come yet?
No, it didn't come.
Well, that's right. He keeps telling me. I
just want to make it clear.
It was 30 days out or something.
I just want to make it clear that he purchased the stick himself.
He did.
I would not have bought him this stick.
Yes,
because
he did. And I want to make it clear that I purchased Dominic's stick.
Yes. Yes.
This is bad.
No, it's funny though that
I should have made him buy it himself.
But
I told him
there's always next time.
I told him
I'm sure there's gonna be another stick.
Well, I told him I'll buy one and you buy the other. That's
why does he need 2 new ones?
He doesn't. But if he wants to spend his money on it,
Fine.
You know?
Yeah, that was like Otto wanted like a new cage for his helmet. I was like, dude,
The Oreo.
he already has one. No, I'm
Yeah,
just like,
Dom's
no,
got
dude,
two.
you already have one. Like,
I know.
no.
Speaking of, we should start doing gear reviews. Oh, we're
Gear reviews.
actually being sent something. We're actually being sent a
What?
piece of gear that we're.
Oh yeah, the puck.
Yeah, the Xeno puck.
That's right.
Yeah, we're it's coming in the mail, so we're gonna have the kids kind of start messing around with that. And we'll let you guys know what the story is.
Yeah.
The claim is that it can slide on most surfaces,
Well, we're gonna find out.
similar to like the Green Biscuit ish. Maybe it's supposed to be a little more durable. I'm not sure.
Those
But
green biscuits are pretty durable.
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever? There's a shooting Green Biscuit and then there's a stick handling Green Biscuit.
Yes.
So have you ever shot with the stick handling Green Biscuit?
I think we've got both of them out there.
Does Otto shoot with it?
Only sometimes.
Dominic has exploded
Yeah.
the stick handling Green Biscuit.
Biscuit.
It is not built for that.
Yeah.
We found that out really
Quickly.
early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dom's first Green Biscuit. Yeah. We found out that you don't shoot that one.
All right.
You
Well.
shoot the darker green one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lighter green one, and we have an orange one too.
We have a black one with like the Devil's logo on it. We have like a bunch of stuff. He's got like an Edmonton Oilers one. Ryan Whitney would like that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, so we should start doing reviews.
Yeah, but so hockey wise, what I guess back on this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys got going on? And like
Moving forward,
well, let me back up. The teams we're playing, I think, are just like I don't know if they're both league, but we're not playing like any AAA teams this week. We're not playing anything that's like I think is going to be harder than usual.
we have two like rivalry games with
nice.
like local like close teams where all the kids kind of know each other. So today and tomorrow's game are going to be interesting.
Yeah, okay,
especially
good.
tomorrow.
Is he playing D? Do you know?
I'm sure he's playing D.
You're sure?
I'm pretty sure, unless the only time he doesn't play D is if a forward is out sick or something like that or missing.
Oh, got
then
it.
he moves him up.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure he's going to play defense. And then we have a tournament next weekend.
Oh, right
In
on.
Boston.
Nice.
Yeah. So you and I need to figure that
Oh,
out.
we might have a tournament also.
Do you?
I think so.
Boston?
No, DC.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah.
same weekend.
I got to talk. Oh, yeah, I got to figure that one out.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I actually, so ours is a 200 by 85 tournament.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I actually have to give a shout out to Justin Lewandowski, who you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So Justin, our initial schedule came out for Boston.
And you're playing every team in your league?
Bro.
It's so ridiculous when that happens.
Bro,
Like,
we
how does that? Why?
we
It's so
were
annoying.
scheduled to play two teams. One we've played twice already. The other we played twice. We're playing the other one tomorrow. So we play them like back-to-back weekends.
It's unreal.
So I don't have to drive, 4 hours to Boston. I
Just
can
to
just
play
go
these teams.
20 minutes I'm going 20 minutes to play them tomorrow.
Yeah.
So our coach reached out to reached out to them, and Justin got back. I think somebody got back, but then Justin got involved, and he actually moved us up to a much more competitive group.
Is that good?
So apparently, we were the highest rated team in our group.
Yeah.
Before that,
Okay.
so they said they were looking for a 12 team to go up. So so we're playing like a Canadian team. There's Canadian.
Nice.
So I think it was like East Coast Elite, I think is there. Some Mississauga team. And
Are you in a AAA division now?
So there are the three teams we're playing are AA teams, but they're higher rated than us.
Yeah.
So they'll be competitive games. And then there are some AAA teams within the group.
Oh wow.
So I think it's a mixed group.
That'll be
It'll be interesting. Listen, I think it's great because it's gonna be more competitive probably than the other games, and we've played those other teams.
right. No doubt. You'd rather play other teams regardless.
I mean, we literally would have played two teams that we played 5 times already.
yeah, that's so annoying. I mean,
Happens
like,
all the time.
all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's so like I said, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. So did you get your schedule for DC yet?
If we did, I haven't seen it.
Okay. Got it. Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Oh no, we did, and actually,
Did you look at
the
it?
team we played, a team we played last weekend, a team from out in Long Island. They have 2 teams from out of the same rink, and I guess we played their 11U.
Okay.
No, 12U,
Okay.
and maybe we're playing their 11U in the tournament, something like that, from the same organization.
Got it. Okay.
So we'll see. But
Nice.
I don't remember the other teams, but I don't think it's anyone else that we've played before. So
It's not?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
So that'll be good.
Nice. All right, good. So
Yeah, man.
listen, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's our last tournament of the year before like the playoffs.
Oh, we've got one more after this.
Oh, you do?
But this is like our first real tournament. Like we've gone to showcases, which is we've had AHF showcases,
Same. This
Where
is our
we've-
first real tournament.
but this is our first
Yeah.
tournament playing non-league games.
I don't count the opening weekend AHF showcase / tournament as a tournament. They had ours as a tournament style, but it was an AHF showcase basically.
Yeah, no, the only
So this is our first tournament too.
yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
You guys have one after this. Good for you guys.
Yeah, like this time last year we already had been to Ohio, Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
and I think Boston.
Yeah.
Like this time last year.
I remember. Yes. We did more last year too. You're right about that. We went up to Lake Placid. That was tremendous.
Yeah.
That's such an awesome place to go play a hockey game. It's awesome. If you guys haven't done it, try to get involved in it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they only do AA up there for some strange
That's
reason.
true.
They don't have AAA tournaments.
Yeah.
And I think they cap out after 14U.
Okay.
Somebody said that the other day. I'm not sure it's true. Yeah, no, I think hockey parents like tournaments. It's nice to go away for a weekend.
Yeah, it could depend. I guess it depends how many you have in a season. Like,
Well, I
you're
was
like,
just gonna say
if you're
that.
like regularly traveling long distances
Yeah.
for your games, where you
100%.
might even be getting a hotel just for like a weekend, plus traveling
Right.
for faraway tournaments, is like it does get to be super expensive, and like
Yeah, it
you
does.
get over it kind of quick.
So it's funny you mention that. I think somebody in our comment section over the last week or two, was saying that we're with a club and they want to do like 6 tournaments, and I was like 6 tournaments. Jesus Christ,
Right.
that's no
Yeah.
for like young kids.
Yeah.
Like-
It's like a 30-year season.
Right. Like you want to do like 2 and like an end of the year or something like that. Okay, like 6.
Yeah.
Oof. Right.
No, it's a ton.
Yeah, it is done.
Um,
So hopefully the end of the season goes well. I know silly season is starting to pop up,
definitely.
right? I mean, people are starting to panic.
Talk about what's the plan for next season.
What's the plan for next season?
What's
And
the plan?
people are starting to panic, and coaches are trying to like move and shake and kind of like put pieces together. Yeah, that's coming. We should do an episode on that.
Yeah.
That's coming. Matter of fact, I think Larry actually texted us to do an episode kind of about like tryouts and all that stuff, because it's coming fast and furious.
That's kind of where we started this podcast.
We did,
Right
didn't
around
we?
that time,
Yeah,
last spring.
that's right. Last March.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so we'll definitely do an episode and talk more about that, and kind of just talk about what we're facing. And,
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
What
What are you gonna say?
No, just thinking, we should have have a youth coach on to talk about
Not a
that
bad
process.
idea. That's definitely not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's actually really good. Do you have anybody in mind?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
you?
there's a
Okay,
few
good.
that I.
That's
yeah,
a good
sure.
idea, actually. I
Sure.
actually wouldn't mind hearing that,
Yeah.
because I bet you there's a lot that goes into it from the coach's perspective.
Well, I mean, the coaches are in the thick of it now, trying to recruit players.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I guess it depends how hard they work. Depends on how many kids wind up walking in the door and how good the team's going to be next year.
Right.
Because
More or less,
organizations.
organizations try to lock down. I mean, I can only
They
speak
do.
from my own experience. So I
Yes, they
shouldn't
do.
broadly say organizations.
No,
but,
I think they do.
But in my
I don't think that's
experience, it
wrong.
was like you want to lock down your coaching staff by the new year for the following year.
Normally it gets put out pretty early, like coaching staffs.
Right.
For the following
But
year.
an organization wants to lock that down before, like in December. Then,
Yeah.
it'll get published at
Yeah.
some point the following, not too long after the new year. And
Right.
then, the coaches are talking, they're
Yeah.
recruiting, they're wheeling and dealing and doing all
That's
those
for
things.
Sure. ID skates.
ID skates, that's
Secret-
right.
Secret ID skates.
Secret, not secret. ID skates.
Exactly.
Um,
Top secret probation ID skates.
yep, that's it.
Yeah. No, but that's like barreling down on us.
Yeah,
So that we should do an episode about that.
yeah, we should.
Should we talk a little bit about, before we kick it over to Murph? Should we talk a little bit about the transition? Because we had a question about the transition between peewees and bantams,
Okay.
and your son is getting closer to that.
Yeah, you're the expert
My son,
at this point.
I don't know about expert, but my son is living it right now
And
because he's a first year bantam.
so the big, it's obviously that's all about checking.
Yeah,
Right? Like that's the biggest change.
yeah, that's when. Yes.
So basically, like if you were to, like as of today,
right.
have you what's your
My
takeaway so far on
my thoughts?
body checking? Yeah.
So it's even my wife said this. It's definitely it makes the game more exciting.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother element, like, you know, and you see it, and you see some, the dads don't care, and some of the moms, like when a kid gets hit, they're like,
out.
ooh, Johnny.
Yeah.
You know, and if there's grandparents in the stands, Jesus Christ, they're having like heart attacks. Like my mother-in-law is like beside herself.
Right.
When Dom gets hit or hits, like beside herself. You know, so
Has Dom gotten crushed?
No, actually,
He has not.
he has not. He's crushed a couple people,
But he has not gotten crushed.
yeah, no, he has not actually
See,
gotten
that
crushed.
probably happens when you're a pretty good skater.
You know, it's
It
funny.
happens less often.
You know, it's funny. So as a unfortunately a long-suffering New York Jet fan, you know, we had Curtis Martin for a long time as our running back.
Yeah.
And Curtis Martin had an uncanny ability to like glance off of people and never take like a blow head on.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he lasted so long and was so good for such a long period of time. Normally running backs, it's hard shelf life wise, but he actually was like 1,000-yard rusher for a lot of seasons in a row.
Right.
The consistency was there because he had the ability to glance off of big blows and never take one like head on, right? So it obviously prolonged his career. Dominic seems I'm going to say this and he's going to get fucking destroyed today.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
But he has an ability to glance off of or evade,
Yeah.
right? But he's blown up a couple people.
players,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And has he enjoyed it personally?
He enjoys the hitting part.
Yeah,
you know,
he does.
You know, it's funny. So you will see the 13U season.
Yeah.
Okay, when
I
you
think you said this last pod.
did I?
Maybe.
When you're a first year bantam, everything, the whole game changes.
Yeah.
You have kids, some are like big time, like into puberty. Some are just starting, some have not started. So the size difference is big, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, so that is a factor, right? And then you'll also see, and this is where I think the game changes. So you'll see some kids that just there's some kids that embrace hitting and want to hit everything in sight. Okay. Then there's some kids that you see that literally don't want to get touched and don't want to do any touching.
Right.
Okay. And you see everything in between. Okay. So I think it takes a couple months it's really ugly and messy for the first like 4 or 5 weeks. Like it's ugly. The amount of boarding calls you're going to get is like astronomical.
Right.
Because the kids just don't, they haven't figured it out yet. They don't get it yet. They hit when they see numbers. It's the first month is ugly.
Yeah.
Right. It gets better after that. But then the funny part about it is like
the novelty wears off and people just go back to not really checking so much.
I remember like our coach has yelled like multiple times from the bench. He's like, you know, you guys are allowed to hit somebody.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like they revert back to what they know.
Right.
You know, so it's a really interesting dynamic, you know, when your kid starts hitting, but I will say it changes because there are some people who just do not want to get touched.
Right.
And you can see it in their stride. You can see it in how quickly the puck gets on and off their stick.
Right.
Right. When somebody's barreling down on them, like the game changes at 13.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. When you're a first year bantam, everything changes.
Yeah.
You know? But I will say it makes the game much more exciting.
Yeah. I was excited for it, but I'm just like, also be careful for what you wish for.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
I also think so, but I also don't want him to think that like, you know, like I think he's only thinking about blowing kids up and he's not thinking about getting blown up. And I'm like, listen, you know, it happens in both directions, dude. So
it does. Yes. You're going to take,
so be prepared.
You're going to take hits. It's messy the first couple of years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I also think it depends what level you're on.
Right.
I think the upper levels is more of like a skill game.
Sure.
I don't think there's as much hitting on the upper levels. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't believe we haven't been to AAA in 2 years, so I could be wrong about that. But when I see a higher end AAA game, it's a very skill based game.
Right.
There's some hitting. Don't get me wrong, but I think, and I could be totally wrong about this, and you guys can crucify me in the comments. But the tier 2, I think there's a lot more like I won't say physicality, but hitting I think is more prevalent.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
You know?
Perhaps like with the lesser skill, kids are trying to make an impact
I think so.
in different ways.
I think.
Okay.
You know?
That's fair.
But the game gets better. So and listen, there's a little bit of anxiety with parents because you don't want your kid to be the kid who gets there and doesn't want to hit and like shuts it down.
Yeah.
You know, because that's an anxious moment. I'm pretty sure it went through. I know it went through my head.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh my god, is Dominic not gonna like hitting? Like, you know,
Sure.
We're gonna play hockey.
Right,
What the fuck are we getting next?
Right.
Like,
Right.
listen, you'll find something to do next. I'm obviously being facetious, but you know, but it's a fear in parents' heads. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, what am I? Well, I'll ask you.
Yeah.
You know, your kid is a first year peewee, so the season's basically almost done.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have next season. I mean, do you ever think like, oh shit, like if he doesn't like hitting, like you know?
Not yet, no, because
No, that hasn't crept
the
in
only
yet?
thing that he's demonstrated is that he's into it and he's willing to do it.
So
And I
right.
say that because like he's also gotten called for body checking like in games.
Fair.
Like
Fair.
now
Yep.
he's gotten like when we went to Europe, he was body checking and like
That's true.
like, was crushing kids.
I forgot he was hitting overseas.
So
Yes.
I don't think my concern would be that
Right.
he gets tagged really badly and it's going to create a tremendous amount of fear in him. And I don't think that's necessarily going to happen, but that's like my fear, right? Like that
Right.
something like that could happen, but as of like going into it, I'm not concerned about it. I think he's going to be psyched for it, and hopefully, you know, it goes well. But I got time. I got time.
You do have time. Yes, you do
So
have
I'm
time.
not really thinking about it now.
Yeah, listen, the game definitely changes. You know, I don't think there's, maybe you can do like, I guess our coach after the Christmas, New Year's break, last year when we were, second year peewees,
Yeah.
he started letting the kids hit in practice.
Which is great.
Only on the boards.
Right.
Right. So I'm assuming coaches are probably going to start ramping that up a little bit. So I think that's a way to kind of get try to get ready for it. If the coach can, can let the kids start hitting after New Year's.
Yep.
So if from now on to the rest of the season, and if there's like check-in clinics in your area, I think that is probably also a smart move. Other than that, I don't know if there's a way to prepare for it.
And not to keep talking about it too much longer because we should kick it over to the
Murph.
interview.
Yeah.
But I think it was Chicklets, and they were talking about the Olympic team, and it's the conversation like went down a road where they were talking about
Right.
physicality in youth hockey.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, there are leagues or teams that are kind of like on the fringes or on the outside of like Hockey Canada,
Right.
that are like introducing body checking at young ages.
Oh, interesting. So they're
I
not
don't
a
know
part of
all the
Hockey
details.
Canada because Hockey Canada wouldn't allow
I
it.
don't know 100% of like those details. I'm
So it's like a
happy to
private
look.
league?
You've seen that like those clever teams like the with a K. Like the Clever Kings. And
Yeah,
like the
is that what that
Clever-
is?
So they mentioned.
Is it like a
that-
private league?
I don't know that it's a private league. I don't know the details, but
Right.
my takeaway was that those teams are introducing body checking at younger ages. I have to do some research. I don't know off the top of my head.
You know, it's funny you say that because we had somebody write in on our comment section, and he was a Canadian from like Montreal, and he's actually the one who was. I actually had a cool conversation with him. He actually built his own ODR, and and the community wound up taking it over, like putting a chiller on it. And like,
right, you were mentioning that,
he
yeah.
built this for the kids, and he was mentioning, I think it was him. I'm pretty sure it was him. He was mentioning that Canadian hockey is changing with a lot of these like private leagues popping up.
Oh, interesting.
I'm curious
Yeah,
if that's
that
one
might
of
be. It might be part of that conversation.
Yeah,
for
definitely
sure.
might be interesting.
Yeah. All right.
All right, bud. Good. You want to kick it over to Rye?
Let's do it.
Go ahead. After you.
What do you mean after me?
Go ahead. You can introduce Rye.
Oh, you want me to
Yeah,
introduce him?
because
Well, we already.
you have a better voice than I do
Well,
for podcasting.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. You have a deeper voice than I do, so it sounds good when it comes from you.
Whatever. Anyway, so we have Ryan Murphy, who spent the last 7 years with New Jersey Devils.
He's awesome.
He's currently serves as the team's skills coordinator before coaching.
Yeah.
Ryan played at multiple levels, including the U.S. National Team Development Program. He represented the U.S. for like 2 years.
Yeah.
He went on
Jersey
to play,
boy.
Yep. Went on to play 4 years of college at Boston College and was drafted by the L.A. Kings.
Yep.
And after that, he spent time playing professionally the AHL before he transitioned to coaching.
Nice.
The guy's got all the credentials.
Yeah, very smart guy.
And
I think you guys are gonna
it's
like
a
the
great
interview.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy, everybody.
All right.
Here we go.
Bye.
All right, we are back with our next interview. Our second New Jersey Devil coach, Ryan Murphy. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us, man. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, and I have to thank Pete Albeets from the New Jersey Devils for making you and Angelo available to us. He's been more than gracious to us. So thank you to the New Jersey Devils. So Ryan, kind of do our audience a favor and kind of tell them about like what you're doing now, and then we'll get into some of your background.
Sure. I've been 7 years now with the New Jersey Devils. I am the skills coordinator that wears a lot of hats. I'm extension of the coaching staff. My role has increased as time has gone on, but a big part of it is to work with the players individually in small groups. During the course of the season, there's not a lot of practice time, so we really want to be organized with how we're able to uh, build some confidence, get some reps in, and then be able to have the guys perform at a high level. Part of it is also getting guys that are hurt back quicker and ready to play, which is not always an easy task because there is not a lot of practice time to get back into it. So a lot of it is preparing them for the rigors of being able to take a check and process quickly, so that they're not behind and that it doesn't take them multiple games to feel comfortable.
Wow. So you just brought up something that I don't even know that I've ever really pushed myself to think about, but like in terms of like professional practices, you said that there is not that much time. So insofar as that there's not so much time to practice like individual skills, like what you are leaning into mostly, or just broadly speaking, the team is just not practicing that much. Like what would like I know there's no I don't know if there's an average week, but like let's just say the past 14 days, like how many practices would the Devils get in, and like how is that kind of structured? If you could share what that's like.
So the last 2 years have been a little bit difficult because they've tried to condense the schedule with the Four Nations tournament happening and now the Olympics happening.
Yep.
Right.
And so our window from the start of the season to the end of the season is the same, but you're losing about two weeks, 2.5 weeks. So really, you're playing every other night right now, if not back to back nights. A lot of it when we don't play, it has to do with recovery, and we want to be the guys to be able to rest and be ready to go for the next day. So we try to balance as many practices as we can, but in the last 14 days, I'd say we probably had two good practices, which is really tough. We've had morning skates, but again, you're talking about maybe one item that you can touch upon that's outside of your normal routine of drills that you want the guys to just feel confident with going into the game. So we don't have a lot of extra time. There's very few times that we have two sheets of ice because there's so much going on in Newark. We have a lot of concerts and outside people coming in to be able to perform. So really we're working with a practice rink in a limited time window. So we have to be organized. We have to kind of communicate about what's the best way to do it. We're also under a time crunch with how long we can keep the players. So we can't keep them there for 10 hours a day. We have to get them in at that certain point where they start eating breakfast. Well, the clock starts running and we need to be ready to go with meetings and preparation for what's to come after that. So, we probably did a lot more skills in the first 2 months where we had sessions where we could tailor it however you wanted to. We could have the forwards one day, we could have a defenseman another day. It could be 15 minutes before practice, just to more get touches in and reps, which when we get into practice, it could be a little bit more tedious to do, or you're again doing a couple flow drills, you're doing some battle drills, and you're focusing on systems or special teams and all that. By the time that ends, the ice is so chewed up that, guys will work a little bit afterwards, but are they really being productive, or are they just kind of checking a box to be able to do a little bit extra work?
Right. I remember it's funny you talk about the ice being chewed up, but when I was a kid, we had a game down where the Flyers were practicing. I was a huge Lindros fan growing up, so when I walked into the rink and the Flyers were on the ice, I was like, "Oh, this couldn't be better." Only for them to get off the ice and then the rink to say your game's canceled because we can't repair the ice.
Oh,
Like it
man.
was totally destroyed. But I
Wow.
got to see like Leclaire and Renberg and Lindros all like walk right by me. But yeah, we drove 2 hours to a game that never happened. But
Yeah, the ruts that Lindros must have left were probably pretty significant.
that guy's unreal.
He was a big man. Big
Yeah.
man.
But anyway, that's super interesting about practice. So
Very.
just one last question about it. So like, if there's a day where you have like a quote unquote proper practice, like how long would that ice session be?
Oh, that's the funny part is that I'd say 35 minutes is probably max.
Max
Wow.
35
Sure.
minutes with the whole team on the ice.
Yeah, and so you want to have the meeting represent what you're going to be focusing on. The video will represent that, and then we'll have a theme so that hopefully the players walk out of the meeting knowing full well, okay, this is what we're focusing on. Here's why, and we'll go from there. But yeah, it's a limited time frame. We have all sorts of sports science people with us that track the output that
Yep.
goes on for each player, and we really want to be conscious of how hard we work them because they're going to be playing 4 games in a week
Right.
right now, and so
Yeah.
that's a ton of hits taken, just extra ice time that they're going to have to, especially when we had injuries where guys are playing more minutes than they're usually typically have been in the past. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of elements that go into when we hit the ground running at like 7:30. It feels like a full sprint until 12, and that might not seem like a very long day, but if you are trying to be productive during that very short time period, you better have everything ironed out.
Dialed in.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you guys are pretty dialed in, right? Because you don't have a lot of time. That 35 minutes is not a lot of time on the ice.
correct.
That's unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I thought it'd be much longer. I really did.
Yeah, and so we'll do 10, 15-minute skills potentially before what goalies will go down one end, and then I'll take a couple guys and we'll try to work on wall play, shooting something that we pull from the previous performances that maybe we weren't executing at a good clip on, and
Yeah.
just be able to hit a little bit of something from a skills perspective that leads us into that more structured practice.
That's unreal. So, so that I mean, thanks for just like kind of
Yeah,
setting the
that was
table
awesome.
there.
Yeah.
So if I had to guess, growing up, your practices weren't quite like what you're running to. I had to guess.
Hour was a short one for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Special teams usually came after the hour,
Yeah.
and so by that time, I don't understand why the ice gets chewed up so much more. Maybe the bodies are bigger, the skates are sharper,
Yeah.
but I don't remember it being like it is. We'll do that 35-minute practice, and it'll look like we had a full on game that went on for 60 minutes.
right.
It's
So
unbelievable.
what was your journey like with the game of hockey? Kind of like how did it all start for you? And like being a Crazy Hockey Dads podcast, certainly want to know if you come from a family of crazy hockey parents or crazy hockey relatives, and what that was like for you.
Crazy hockey mom, that's for sure.
Crazy hockey.
Oh,
okay.
there you go.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go.
The,
Let's hear it.
the most loving, protective, but yeah, there's a lot of stories that be had with her, with how she took in the game and how competitive she was. So, but my parents belonged to a country club that had an outdoor rink. It had a house league, a little bit of travel where you played other outdoor teams, but it was nothing that was in the realm of the AAA competitive nature that you have. It was more just for fun and something to do during the wintertime when your kids are running around and you're like, what am I got to get them out of the house somehow. So my parents never played hockey. My dad does not know how to skate. He showed up to a father-son game wearing jeans, and I just pretended that we were not related.
I was just going to say that he wasn't your dad.
Yeah.
Who brought that guy?
So I had a real passion for it. I loved being outside to be able to play. There was a rink that opened up, Jersey Shore Arena, it's called now. The American Eagles were the new prominent travel team, and my parents had no idea what that meant. We had a family friend that kind of switched gears from Navasink to there, told us how great it was, and that's really how the path started for me. Was parents that were kind of leading the way outside of mine, that were kind of giving and for the most part great advice to my parents about what the next step should be. From the American Eagles, everybody was starting to move to AAA. That became a thing in New Jersey when I was growing up. Finally, I moved to the Devils. I moved to Rockets, and I played in the Colonials organizations. So I bounced around, and like I was telling you guys, I'm not the poster boy for loyalty within an organization. So I know that's a big hot topic for everybody. But I just didn't know what the next step should be. And so I had a lot of people in my parents' ears, in my ears, about, hey, this is the best thing for your son. I got to 13 years old, and this is when the story gets a little bit crazier. John Sabo was a player that was about 2 years older than me. He ended up playing at Boston University, had a little bit of a pro career after, but still good friends with him. But he had gone to Cardigan Mountain, and I had no idea where Cardigan was. It was a junior prep school for boys up in New Hampshire. It ran from 6th to 9th grade. It was really to get you into prep school and accustomed to the life that you'd live if you were going to go that route of being able to manage school and life away from home along with athletics. So they told me if I ever really wanted to amount to anything in the hockey world, that I needed to kind of get out of Jersey at that time. I don't know if that's the same thought process that I would have now, but at that time, I think it was the best decision. Massachusetts was prominent. New Hampshire was fielding a lot of good players. Michigan was great, but those were like the heavyweights that I felt like I needed to be a part of it and see if I can actually be able to compete with them at their level. So I went to Cardigan. I had never seen Cardigan before when I went there. I was 13 at the time.
So you were like an 8th grader, right?
I was an 8th grader. Unreal. So I played 8th and 9th grade there. We had some great teams. We had a lot of guys that went Division I hockey, a bunch of guys that played after, a couple pro NHL guys as well. So we had a great run during those 2 years. That got me moving in the direction of prep school. I went 1 year to prep school. My mom felt that to keep the family together, we were all moving. And I have 3 younger brothers at the time. Oh, wow. We were all moving up to New Hampshire to go be closer to me at St. Paul's. And after 1 year, I was asked to go play for the U.S. team. So my family uprooted themselves only for me to move to Michigan. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So went to Michigan for 2 years and played for the U.S. national team, which was the greatest accomplishment I think that I had in my hockey career, where being able to wear the U.S. sweater was something that I'll never take for granted. And I was awesome. Yeah, it was great. It was an experience that I wish everybody can be a part of. And then went to Boston College for 4 years after that, played all 4 years there. Was drafted by the Los Angeles Kings and played a couple years in their minor league system. Got a bunch of games in the AHL, and just there was a point after a couple injuries that I just was like, I wanted to play this game to make it to the NHL. I did not want to just be a pro for a long period of time, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know some of my closest friends played years and years and years, went to Europe, enjoyed
overseas,
the game.
Yeah, see, you didn't
had
do that.
So many great life experiences.
Yeah.
I just that was not something I wanted to continue to do. And the minor leagues can be tough. Like everybody talks about how great it is to play in the NHL. Well, if you get up there and you have a cup of coffee, it's a big difference than being able to kind of like bounce around from organization to organization and kind of manage your way through a lot of long bus rides, long road trips, and all that. So I got out of hockey with the thought I will never be back into hockey, and
so much for that.
They got me back in. Yeah, I worked 2 years in different jobs, and I lived in New York City for a while. I loved every minute of it, but I had an old coach that said to me, "Hey, if you ever want to get into the coaching game, I have an opportunity for you. It's out in Bakersfield, California. It paid what my dad thought was a month's worth of annual salary for 1 year. So again, didn't know where Bakersfield was. Went out there. We started off 0-12, and I thought I'd made the biggest mistake of my life.
Right.
We turned it around though, and had a terrific year, which led us to going to the AHL, where I worked for 5 years, including in the Hershey Bears, which is a prominent organization.
Oh, absolutely.
Ended up with Ottawa, and then moved back to New Jersey because I was tired of bouncing around, wanted to start a family, I should say. Like I was doing all this on my own, and it becomes tough. I wanted to focus more on development, and summertime was going to be my kind of opportunity to be able to work with guys on an individual and small group basis, and that's kind of where it led me to the Devils.
Unreal. So during this time, as far as coaching, were you always coaching from a skills perspective, or were you like an X's and O's guy? Like, did you kind of like work in all different forms of coaching, or?
You were an assistant, right? You were an
Yeah.
assistant guy at the time.
Yeah.
So that's a great question. And a lot of my Boston College roommates laughed at the fact that I had the title skills coach when my job was basically chip the puck in and get off the ice. They're like, what skills are you possibly giving
Oh,
any
that's so
of our
funny.
youth? So when we were in Hershey, it became much more prominent where younger players needed to get more involved in the day-to-day of the NHL. It became a much younger league. The guys were all working on skills, but then all of a sudden you go to the pro level and you really weren't getting those same reps and opportunities that you were when you were younger. We started small groups when we were in Hershey, and I would take 3 guys out once or twice a week. And we just have a theme that we were going to go through. And that started this whole thought process of, okay, we need to kind of learn more about what am I teaching here? Why am I teaching it? And it can't just be X's and O's. I think if I could go back and early on in my coaching career, I think I hid behind a computer way too much. I focused in on the video. I always thought, hey, you know what, the guys should know what they're supposed to be doing. You know, we're showing it, we're practicing it. I don't understand why it's not being executed. And when I look back on it, I realize like the relationships and conversations that I have now with players go so much longer than the best drill that I could possibly come up with. And it's more so building trust and showing that you care. And also listening about what's important to them. How do they view the game? What do they feel that they need to do better? So I think the communication and interaction with the players themselves are what I pulled out of those skill sessions that I needed to be better at to be a better coach.
That's interesting to hear you say, because it's funny. I think everything has changed from like 20, 30 years ago, right? Even the way coaches deal with players. You know, you still have guys that, you know, get chewed out, but it's even at the youth level, right? I mean, I think it's because you see the old time guys that are screaming and hollering at kids. But and you tell me if I'm right or wrong here, but it feels like coaches, the newer coaching style is much different than the old coaching style, right?
Yeah, it's a partnership, and
Right.
and so yes, you can't be demeaning, but you could be demanding.
Right.
You can say, but you better have a why as to why you're telling them this. That could be through clips on video. That could be just clips of another player of what you're trying to show them to help them get a little bit more or enhance their skill set a little bit more. And so again, it goes back to you need to be able to listen to them, because not if I take the same approach with one player and try that same approach with another player, yeah, it could work a couple times, but you're always going to come across somebody that it doesn't work for, and so
Yeah.
how are you going to adapt?
Because they learn
So if you-
differently than the other guy, right?
For sure. And so if your style of coaching is cookie cutter,
not
you're
gonna
going to hit some roadblocks for sure. So you try to be, or what I've tried to do is be a little bit more adaptable, and just work with guys. And there's some guys that I know I can push, and then there's some guys that I know that I can't push, and that it's got to be more of a conversation and let them tell me as to like what do I need to get in order to get more out of you, I guess is the best way to put it.
So like the relationship pieces become ever more important.
For sure. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so let me ask a question. Before we started recording, you were mentioning how that you also, work with an organization where you're working with their like mites up through like their older, teenagers and beyond. Just bringing it away from the pros and just taking a look at the youth hockey landscape, certainly there's no shortage of skills coaches out there, or clinics that are offered. And, there's plenty of parents certainly in the tier 1 space, tier 2 as well. But like they're always looking to like get extra ice time, working with a skills coach, work with a skating coach. What would you want to look for in a skills coach or program? If there's a parent listening that's like, I want to get my kid some extra puck touches, extra ice time, don't know where to start. kind of like, are there any things that you would like advise people to like look for or look out for?
Yeah, I try to tell parents. Parents will come up to me and say, "Can I do an individual lesson with you? I'll rent the ice. I'll get everything coordinated, blah blah blah." But I try to push them in the direction of, "Hey, get Johnny's 2 or 3 other buddies, and we'll all go out together, and be able to work on some things that are customized for your son, but there's going to be a competitive aspect to it. There's going to be a problem solving aspect to it." And so I I watch. My sons are not old enough to be able to start practicing yet or doing any skill sessions, but I just watch some, and it's nothing against some of these coaches, but like I don't want to see lines where kids are waiting in line for a long period of time, especially when you have a limited window.
It's everywhere now. The lines are everywhere, especially for mites. They're everywhere.
And so what do? Like you can just have them go use the whole ice, and everybody kind of does their own thing, and you set up stick handling stations and all that type of stuff. But like really, the game is all about reading and reacting and being able to play off each other, the timing that you have, the routes that you take, and yes, you need puck skills for sure. But you have to know how to use those puck skills in the appropriate setting under a lot of duress. There's not a lot of time, yeah, when you're young, you get a lot of open ice to be able to make plays, and you got time, and if you feel good about yourself, and then all of a sudden that window just starts closing faster and faster.
Absolutely.
And now you've got to make plays faster.
Under stress.
Yeah. And so I work with the Red Bank Generals organization down here, and I started with a lot of isolated skills, meaning, we'd set up like stick handling station here. We would do a shooting station here. The hard part was there was a lot of kids. And so I would say there's too much standing around. So as much as I want to be able to focus in on Johnny's shot, like Johnny needs to be able to get his shot off in this drill that I'm going to create for him. And so we did a lot more of very simple, small area type, let's call it compete games, where we give them a situation that's a game situation. Let's just say we got two guys on the red team, 3 guys on the gold team. The 2 guys on the red, you're going to go forecheck, try to go get the puck back, and then be able to score. The guys on the other team, you're trying to break out. So you're working on breakout skills and you're working on forecheck skills at the same time while creating a competitive environment. And I think what I've taken away from drills like that is the ability to stop and talk to kids about, okay, that you did not execute that properly. Why though? And so that's kind of like the bigger takeaway from all this. And yeah, it's easier at the pro level for them to be able to communicate like that. But I think it's just as important for an 8-year-old to be able to understand the why as to, why is this important, and why, or what can I do to be better at this in order to execute during a game.
And so that's a great piece of advice, because I'm sure a lot of people weren't expecting to hear that. So if we talk about, let's say, youth, junior, and then college pros. I mean, I don't know if we would go to the pros part of it, but like, do you think between any one of those segments, and if you want to segment it differently, that's fine. But do you think that the type of skills work extra outside of the regular club practices? Would the different age groups, should they be looking for anything different?
I mean, you obviously need your foundation in order to be able to build off of that. And so I do a number of shooting lessons off the ice. A lot of parents, when they want to do the individual stuff, it's always on the ice. But, when they want to work on their shot and you have ice time, everybody wants to do more. Like, they want to skate around. They want to get moving. The parents want to see them moving. They don't want them to see them isolated and standing there. And so I do a lot of shooting lessons off the ice, and it's more technical with their hands and just the positioning of where the puck is. And that translates over to stick handling. That translates over to passing. That translates over to shooting. And what it does is it kind of it limits their ability to do other things or want to do other things. And really, we focus in on the reps. And how I've sold it in the past is I can go to the golf range and hit 1,000 balls. And if I don't know what I'm doing, then you're really not having a productive session. I'm just, hoping that things are going to work
motions, for me. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so kids can say, I shot 1,000 pucks today, but if it's 1,000 pucks with the wrong technique,
Right.
Is it really beneficial, or can you shoot 50 pucks and have everything down to doing things the right way, where the puck's placed, where your hands are placed, and then really focus in on those 50? I think that's a bigger takeaway than just shooting pucks to shoot pucks.
Like a more purposeful kind of, practice.
For sure. Yeah.
Quality,
And
not
that
quantity.
might be a private lesson that they need to do first in order to do it. But yeah, I would say when you can go back and be able to do those things, or when they do them after a lesson and they see, okay, I didn't execute here. I know exactly why. I think that's even more important.
It's funny that you brought up kind of shooting off the ice, because one of the questions that I wrote down that I wanted to ask you was, do you think that that a lot of the skills part that you teach can be done off the ice, stick handling, shooting, that type of stuff? Do you believe that, or do you think you need ice to do a lot of that stuff?
No, I think that's perfect. The one thing that I'll say is that you're on sneakers probably other than skates, and so just being conscious of how long the stick is that you use. I would always have a stick that's a little bit shorter when you're on your sneakers, just because it kind of gives the same proportion that you would when you're on skates. But I think that's a great way to start if you have the ability to do so, is to just have a shooting board or something that is synthetic where you're able to work on your hands and all that. Yeah, it's highly, highly beneficial.
So I have a question. What's your favorite piece of off-ice equipment for like a youth player? Is it like the green biscuit? Is it, I don't know, I'm curious. I'm curious to hear like your favorite piece of equipment, like hockey equipment for kids.
I like some of the rebounders that I see out there, and part of it is because when you pass it off of there, it never comes back the same way, and you have to adjust to it, and no pickup is ever going to be exactly the same if you're doing it properly. So I think those are all extremely valuable to have, just because shooting from the proper spot all the time. When you think about it, if my legs are in the perfect position, if my weight is distributed properly, if I'm not under duress, the puck's in the perfect spot, it doesn't happen.
I was going to say, very rarely would that ever happen in a game situation, right?
Yeah. And so the more that you can make the variables change, I think it allows your body to kind of
To adapt.
have to figure it out. Yeah.
So you had just talked about
cool.
like shooting tiles. So would a step up from sneakers and regular tiles be glice and getting skates? Working on that. What are your any cons to working on glice with skates?
I don't think so. I mean, as a parent, then you got to get them sharpened.
I was just going to say that.
Fair enough, but there's a lot of there are some just glice only skills facilities and there are some parents that have tiles at home, and a lot of people end up not using them with skates because they just leave a mess everywhere. But just for maybe people that aren't even familiar that there's like skatable tiles out there, that's a good option as well, right? Because then you're not in sneakers, you're in your skates, and that's going to add it's going to make it more, I guess, game-like, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the hardest sport to replicate away from the rink, and so anything that you can do is going to be beneficial. It's not like basketball or soccer where you just pick up and you kind of find an area to be able to do so, or a basket to do so. It's just that much harder. So I'm all for being able to get on glice or synthetic or whatever you can to be able to just kind of get the reps in, because during the course of a practice, think about it. If you watch a practice, how many shots is a kid actually getting during the course of the time, especially when they start competing or doing some systems or structure to it. So that's their time period to be able to get those reps in.
So just to follow up also, sorry, James, I think I'm going to cut you
No,
off.
no, that's okay.
When we were talking about shooting and, shooting 1,000, taking 1,000 shots the wrong way, it's kind of that quality versus quantity conversation a little bit. But like, what are your thoughts about video review to, I don't know, even setting up something in the garage or having like a friend or a family member video a kid, their shot and working with someone to critique it, at the young, how early would you think introducing video review of technique would be applicable?
So when I was doing the shooting lessons, I would have parents that had 7, 8 year olds that would come to me and they'd say, "Hey, he needs to work on a shot." And I started out and I was like, "Well, here's how you take a snapshot. Here's how you use the Plexus stick," and they're just not ready for that.
Their
Like they
bodies
want
aren't
to,
there. Yeah.
yeah, they want to put their whole body into it, and that's how they score goals. So I've kind of embraced that. Just like, how do I put them in better positions to be able to succeed right now? And then as they progress and get stronger and they're able to use the flex of the stick a little bit more, that's kind of when I pull the reins back a little bit and kind of go through a technical breakdown of how they're going to be able to execute better. And so there's no, I would say there's no like set time where you need to be able to do so. I think everybody just matures physically a little bit different at different times, and so it's just when they become stronger that it becomes easier for me to kind of go through what the proper technique is. But as far as video is concerned, I love it. The video doesn't lie. So, and I'll say that I think when it first clicked to me how important it was, I was working with a player in Hershey for probably 3 years, and in the fourth year, I took video for the first time of him shooting a puck. And I showed him, and he said to me, "Look, I have to be honest with you. You have been talking to me about this little quality over and over again. I know. But until you showed me that clip, I had no idea what you were talking about. And I didn't want to look stupid. So I just went with it." And so it kind of was a light bulb moment of, okay, you're going to get guys that are play at a high level like that just they're not appeasing you, but it's also like, okay, they're trying to figure it out themselves more so than asking all these questions. And the video allowed this guy in particular to kind of just take a step back and be like, okay, I've got that mental picture in my head of what he's looking for in order to execute. And I'm like, I have to use this all the time.
Right.
And from then on, you've been using video constantly ever since.
Constantly.
Right?
Yeah. And again, probably too much for a while.
Right.
But you got to balance it for sure.
I'm curious, since we're on the shooting topic, all of these knucklehead kids, including my kid, want to shoot in the top corners constantly, and they wind up, a lot of them wind up airmailing the crossbar, and then the puck rims around, and all of a sudden you have a breakout the other way, right? Where do you think kids should shoot? And it doesn't have to be kids. It could be high school, it could be college, it could be pro. Where would you teach somebody to shoot to be the most effective spot to score? I'm just curious to hear.
I think you have to be able to mix it up. I think the best goal scorers do so. I don't think if you showed who like Connor McDavid or I used to like Kyle Connor a lot from Winnipeg.
Yeah, sure.
He shoots almost everything over the pads. And so he's been a guy that I've used in the past with a lot of younger players, just showing, and it's more the reaction. So let me work backwards. I almost like to have conversations with goalie coaches more so about this because I want to know what they're teaching the goaltenders, and especially, high school, that type of age. The automatic reaction recently has been to get your hands up so that you don't get beat high. And so I say to guys, okay, if that's the case and they're automatically going to just get their hands up as big as possible and make themselves as big as possible, where are the holes? And it's more over the pad.
Under the arms.
The one thing that I would do if it was my team or just my son, and I would have them go through all the goals that were scored on a nightly basis. So like on the NHL.com, they show here's tonight's all their goals that were scored tonight. And just go through and track, okay, this one was 5-hole. This was over the pad. And you're going to see that it's not bar down 90% of the time like everybody feels like it is. You have to have the ability to mix it up. And so I think it's important to learn that at an early age. I use this a lot with all ages, and I ask, what's the point of you doing these shooting sessions? Is it to shoot the puck harder or to score more goals? And I guess when I first started asking it, it seemed that it was really easy answer of scoring more goals. But the more I asked it, it was a hesitation, and there was a lot of like, well, can I do both? And I'm like, well, yeah, you can do both, but really at the end of the day, if you think about golf, like, is it to hit the ball the furthest or is it to score the lowest? That's kind of the equivalent. And so how you score is not always about how hard your shot is. And that's something that guys need to wrap their heads around at all levels. There's plenty of pros that feel like, hey, I can beat this guy if I just overpower him all the time. And the best goal scorers don't do that. They might have hard shots, but they know where to put the puck and can control it.
Yeah, that you know, and I was just watching. It's funny we're talking about the speed of the puck. You know, I was just watching a goal. I don't know who got beat. It might have been Bennington. I forget, but it was basically just like kind of like a knuckle puck. You know what I mean? And just how it just, you know, it made me think of like a pitcher that's throwing a changeup. You know, like kind of that off speed and that. Yeah, you know, I've heard many times, and tell me if I'm wrong, that like it's more important to get the shot off quickly than it is to get it off like accurately or as hard as you can. But like to your point, it just sounds like, you know, having like an arsenal of like different, you know, I guess tools in terms of like shot speed, like placement, like all those things are just come into play, and it's that makes a lot of sense.
And even a desire to get to the right spots. Like if goals are scored 5 feet from the net and you're not going to those places, you're kind of wasting your time shooting from 20 feet away all the time when you're practicing, right? So I think it's just as important to be in tight finishing is just as crucial as being able to take a one-timer.
Yeah. You know, just talking about like skills, generally speaking, you know, like I think the first thing that comes to mind is stick handling, shooting, and skating, right? But like when you were talking earlier about some of the practice time that you spend with the Devils, you know, just even working on wall play, you know, in that game, the situational stuff. You know, I think that's a really important piece that, like, you know, when I was coaching, you know, I would try to make sure that, like, anything that we were doing, for the most part, like, you know, was relatable to a game. And it wasn't just, like, these static, you know, just static standing and shooting at the goalie. So, like, what are some other, you know, maybe neglected areas of a game that you think maybe younger kids, you know, if they have the opportunity, should pay more attention to? Is it just picking pucks up off the wall? Is it, you know, like, what comes to mind there?
That's a good one. I think we've cutbacks are a big one too. Everybody likes to turn and then they stop moving their feet. So they make this really good tight turn and they elude the defender, and then it's almost like, okay, now I need to just fire this thing somewhere versus trying to get away from their defender. I think that's a big one that I see at the youth levels. I would say away from the puck is so important. Angling, stick detail, like those things get you the puck back. I watched Florida last night and they scored 2 goals, and the guy's like, these are prototypical Florida goals. The announcer said that, and he's right. It's the one time that the structure breaks down so poorly that you have some of the highest danger opportunities is when you can create a turnover. And so knowing how to do so, there's so many kids that I watch, and when they have the puck, they're going a million miles an hour, and they're flying around, and they're energized, and they're ready to go, and they're looking to score. If you can match that passion on the defensive side, I tell people, like, what's the goal of being able to have a good stick and turning pucks over? Like, it's not just to keep the puck out of your net; it's to get the puck back and let's go play offense. Like, that's the fun zone. Everybody wants to go play offense. So if that's the case, and if your team only has the puck 50% of the time, you need to figure out how you're going to get it back. You can't just run around, right? So when you have your moments to be able to strip a guy cleanly and then turn it, or go stick on puck and then create a turnover and your teammate is able to pick up the puck, I mean, those are opportunities that you have to take advantage of. And so if you can learn those skills and those details of angling and stick detail and all that, I think it goes a long way, and it makes coaches a lot happier too, because you're keeping the puck out of your own zone.
Totally.
I'm curious, what are some stick details, you know, for creating a turnover, whether it's like a stick lift or, you know, a poke check? What are some, you know, anything you would teach to like the youth kids, or not youth, but I guess anybody under, I guess, 18? What would you teach? You know,
so I talk about the top hand nonstop. Guys make fun of me all the time because I'm just talking about how important the top hand is, and that runs from the devil's all the way down to mites. I talk about it so much because when I was first growing up, I started out as a lefty. I throw right-handed, and I started out as a lefty, and I was so bad that my mom switched me to a right-handed shot immediately. And I come to find out that, it should be your dominant hand is your top hand. It's not for everybody. I'm not, but that's kind of a natural progression. And the rationale is because your top hand has to do a lot of work. And I think when you're talking about stick detail and poke checking and all that, like how strong that top hand needs to be in order to be able to do those things, that's my left hand now. That's like my weak hand. So I have to be extra conscious in order when I do those things. I think when you have a strong top hand, it allows you to make yourself bigger defensively. So instead of me having alligator arms and giving you all this space, I utilize the fact that my top hand is strong and I'm able to extend my arm. It makes the puck carrier uncomfortable, and that's when turnovers happen. That's when you're able to take advantage of those types of plays and go back the other way. So I think that would be the number one priority is just like focus needs to be of how strong you are with that top hand.
Is that why in Canada they take righties and play them as a lefty and vice versa? Is that why they do that?
It could be. It could be.
For a strong top hand?
Yeah. My jean-wearing dad did not know that. So, no, I do have to say, like, my parents were everything for my career, because if they didn't have the passion to be able to put me in those positions, that I didn't know what I was doing. Nobody else knew what I was doing. So, their craziness were what allowed me and my brothers to have success. I had another brother that played at Providence College, another brother that played at Colby College, and then the one in between won a national championship with Boston College as a manager of the hockey team. So all of us have had different paths, but hockey has been such a huge instrument for life lessons for all of us and our family. So I thought I'd delay my boys playing longer and longer, but at 3 and 5, they've already started. So
let's go.
I guess I'm part of the crazy hockey dads.
Yes, you are. Jump on in. The water's fine.
The water's fine. So something that also comes up, and I would be curious to hear your take on how it relates to maybe like skills work that you do with players. But surely you have you're working with groups of kids, and you got different mindsets out there. You got kids that are more confident. You got kids that are less confident. You got, you hear about guys that are just, practice players, but when game time shows up, they're nowhere to be found, right? As a skills coach, what are some of the things that you do to work with people who potentially need to work on their confidence? I doubt you probably have to rein people in, but maybe that's a thing. If you could just talk a little bit about like the mental piece and how that relates to what you do with your guys.
So I think it starts with video. You need to be able to show them the instances that you're talking about so that they see the spacing, the timing, what they need to do better. And then you need to put them in positions where it's not patterned, where they have to kind of figure out the spacing for themselves, the problem solving aspect of it. So a lot of it is kind of competition. We tried a bunch of new things this summer. The guy that I started Proformance with is Chris Gragnano. He's our Utica skills coach. Him and I have kind of thrown ideas at each other as to how to make guys better at this. And I guess people would call it hockey IQ, hockey sense as well. I think it starts with watching a lot of games and just being able to watch games versus highlights, because you see everything is on the puck. And so what we've tried to do is start the drills without you having the puck, and ultimately hopefully you end up as the guy that gets to be the shooter. But if you don't execute the things that we're talking about, a forecheck or being able to work a give and go, then you don't get rewarded with a shot. So we don't do extra pucks. Like, we'll do extra reps over and over again, but we'll always have kind of an outcome of this side wins and this side loses. And when the side loses, it's not to harp on their inefficiencies. It's more to kind of use it as a teaching tool to be like, okay, their team won the point this time. How are we going to be able to execute better? It creates conversation, and yeah, it's easier with the older guys, but you could do it at all levels and just see what they're feeling. And also just being able to re-emphasize that through video of them on the ice, just so they can see it themselves during the practice time. So I do video a lot of practices to be able to go back and just show them, yeah, this is what we're working on. Here's some good stuff, and here's some teaching materials that we need to keep working on, because it's not an overnight thing. You don't just flip a switch, especially with hockey sense, right? You could just keep watching games, you can watch players and all that, but you have to be the one that, you know, drives the car, and it's not always easy. Faster is not always better. That's one thing that I always say all the time. There's so many guys, and I was one of them. I was going 1,000 miles per hour throughout my career all the time, thinking that if I was not, that I was not having a productive shift.
Right.
And it was kind of counterproductive, because I was out of position at times. I was forcing things at times. I was running into whoever the defender was faster than I should have, because I was just going so fast, almost like there was a shot clock, and I needed to get something done within that small time frame, and that's not the case. So what I've tried to do is have people learn from my mistakes, of how I processed, and kind of take a step back and just be like, okay, you don't have to make that play under duress if you do this. So slowing things down at times might seem like you're in trouble because, oh, somebody's going to get me, but it also allows you more time and space.
That's such a good point, because I know for sure, you know, and look, I don't want to. So when I watch my kid, and Jamie watches this,
I was just going to say,
watch their
you just
kids,
described
like
my
kid
kid
on the ice, and they're like,
Yeah.
I need more effort. I need more effort.
Right.
Back check's not hard enough. Forecheck's not hard enough. And look, with that might totally be true, right? But there is this intersection where there are times where it's not appropriate, where, you know, by doing so, you might be taking yourself out of position, right? Like if there's already an F2 down on the forecheck, that F3 doesn't need to motor as fast as they can to get below the goal line to help support, right? You know, that's not something they necessarily need to do, for example. So I guess part of, you know, for parents out there, right, that are like, you know, or always wanting to see their kid moving their feet as fast as possible, it's like, well, wait a second, that might not always be the most appropriate thing. You know, whether or not the kid at that point in time actually knows that, you know, if they're really trying to get into the right position is another story. But just because the kid's not moving their feet as fast as possible every moment doesn't mean they're not giving effort. Is that like a fair thing to say?
Yeah, and if you were to go and ask a player, I want you to give me 3 bullet points as to what a productive shift looks like, and self-evaluate.
Yep.
And a lot of them will say, well, I got to move my feet. That's one of the top 3. And that's fine, but it's generic. And what does move your feet mean? Like just run faster on the ice, or look like you're trying harder than you are? Or does it mean take away time and space? Does that mean getting away from defenders? Does that mean being strong on the forecheck? So I think you have to kind of be more, you can't be as general, and you need to be more thoughtful of how can I be productive and help our team out, and self-evaluate from a shift-by-shift basis. And that's going to allow you to put you more at ease. A big help would be if the coach agrees with your 3 to 5 bullet points of what makes you productive.
Right.
It makes it counterproductive if he doesn't agree. But I think that's so important, is just to have awareness. Like, it doesn't need to be goal oriented. And when I say goal oriented, like I need to score a goal here, or I need to get a scoring chance, or I need to get a breakaway. Like, it needs to be, if I do these 3 to 5 things right, then I'm putting myself in a position where I am highly valuable to the rest of my team.
Right.
You know, it's so funny that you say that. Well, all right, so I have 2 parts. The first part is, when people come to you and self-evaluate, what are the other 2 things that you hear the most? Okay, that's part 1. I'm just curious. And part 2 is, I've heard, I don't know where I heard it, but I've heard, like, you know, when you go out on a shift or in a period, you want to try to have 2 shots, 2 hits, 2 would-be takeaways, 1 block shot. Is that something that you teach, you know, older kids too?
I mean, if block shots are one of your bullet points, I mean, it could be for somebody that plays the penalty kill a lot. That
Right.
that's a role that is going to really help the team is be able to produce like that. I still think it would be more along the lines of, am I taking away time and space from the opponent? Am I creating turnovers? Some of the other bullet points, like you asked, that we'll see. I mean, a shot on net, right? Like,
Right. That's a
what does
fair
that mean?
question.
I come over the blue line and I just fire it at the goaltender. He grabs it and swallows it up, and I get a whistle. Like, yes, it's a shot on net and does go in the stats,
But
but
it's not a
it
very
really
high percentage thing, right?
no, no, and that was something that in Hershey that opened my eyes a lot. Our goaltending coach did really a deep dive each year of, and now he's the Washington Capitals goalie coach.
Cool.
But he's just like, there's wasted shots, and really what that means is you're just allowing the goaltender to build confidence throughout the time that he has. So why not fight to try to get into the house a little bit more? Why not hold on to pucks a little bit longer? It's a harder game for sure than just
Yeah.
firing everywhere. And it is an older school mentality, and there's plenty of coaches that still feel that way. That shot volume is important. I just, to me, it's more about scoring chances,
And
and
quality
so
shots, right? Like
yeah.
quality scoring chances as opposed
How
to
do you
volume.
make life hard on the goalie? That's
Right.
that's really what it's about. And so a lot of that is being connected with the rest of your team and having to move the puck fast and having to work harder to get into the good spots in order to score, which is not always easy, versus just firing and hoping for the best.
Right.
I will say, as we talk about this, it makes me think of what I've seen, when watching NHL games, especially on the power play. Like, it just seems sometimes that the puck is just overpassed, and I can't, and it's clear they're trying to get the goalie to move. Like, I get it, like that makes sense. Like, but at the same time, I just feel like, oh my God, will someone take a shot already? Like, Jesus, like the puck is just going, they're trying to make so many passes. Could you like speak to that a little bit in terms of like, is that the only reason why like, the puck gets moved so much is to get the goalie moving east to west, or is there like some other stuff that I might not be, privy to in terms of like, what I'm seeing?
So my first question for you are you a shoot it guy that's yelling shoot it from the stands?
No, well, no. So at some point, I get,
That's fantastic.
I
am.
I get to that point sometimes, and the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because like honestly, it's occurred to me on like more than I think I've ever, and maybe it's because I'm just paying more attention to the game because my son's playing and like whatever, but like it just seems like there's opportunities to get pucks on net, and like if you have net front presence, you might get like a greasy goal as opposed to trying to make that extra pass that maybe gets tipped and like it ends up out of the zone. So I don't know. Just an observation that I've had, and maybe I'm off the mark on my take on it, but just curious if there's some I don't know, like analytics that are kind of saying, hey, listen, move the puck more, and you're increasing your odds of scoring.
Yeah, so some of it is unselfishness. You're just trying to get people involved, but I'd say the bigger reason is respect for the goaltenders and that
Okay.
they're so big, so athletic. You're it's funny, like you could be pretty close to the net even in the NHL, and if that goalie knows that you are the shooter, it's still not a high percentage that you're going to beat him. And so knowing that you're trying to make him move and have deception and just
Yep.
making sure that life is a little bit uneasy for them. And so that's part of the reason where you're moving the puck around a little bit more. Penalty kills are also much more aggressive than they were. And so you're really trying to break the pressure, but it's not always easy, right? You got one guy jumping in. We play against Carolina, and I watch, and it's like they have five guys out there, but it's only
Yeah.
four, and
Yeah.
it's because they're
Yeah.
so aggressive, so connected, and so it does seem like, hey, stop passing the puck, but it's also, well, I got to make a decision at some point here,
Sure.
and they're putting a lot of duress on me. So, but I would say probably the goaltending respect is probably the biggest one. Is that
Interesting.
they know that getting him moving is the most important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Sure.
Yeah, it definitely
Interesting.
does. Yeah, because I got to tell you, Ryan, I am yelling at Jasper Bratt all the time to shoot the puck.
When we were in Hershey and our goalie coach had done the presentations, I think it had to be dozens of times that we would have 2 goals and 5 shots on net after the period. And what it does is basically a goaltender goes back into the locker room after the period thinking about what his save percentage is at the time because there's no pucks, but he's also uneasy because we it's not like we don't have the puck. It's more along the lines of like, are they going to shoot it? I hope they're going to shoot it because I want to feel the puck. I want to feel better about myself. And so it put them in uncomfortable positions. But in Hershey, I mean, it was nonstop shoot it. And so we drove people mad. So I think it's a balancing act. I don't think you have to be maybe as extreme as that, but it was something that worked for us and the personnel that we had, and everybody kind of bought into it, and that was more the reason. It was more of a soccer focus. That possession was just so important, and the more that we can grind teams down and just be a little bit more patient, that we were going to have really, really quality opportunities finally, because they were just going to get upset. They were going to get too aggressive and they would make a mistake, or they get tired because nobody likes playing defense, right? You're chasing people around for an entire shift. You're like, I got to make something happen. So you start cheating, and then all of a sudden you take advantage of it.
You're out of position, yeah. So it's almost like the Princeton motion offense where they just kind of keep screening and passing and screening away, and all of a sudden you pop out for like a backdoor layup, like that type of stuff. Right?
Drives you nuts. But
yeah, because it's boring, right? It's boring and it's monotonous and it's right. But all of a sudden, like you said, you all of a sudden you have a mental lapse and boom, the puck goes in the net. Like that. That's kind of so you like that, the quality as opposed over quantity. That's your.
I think there's a balancing act that needs to be had with that. We were probably so over the top one way that we kind of needed a little bit more shot volume, a little bit more chaos around the net. There was times that we got way too perimeter because of that concept, and then we were just circling on the outside, and we really weren't doing anything. So I think that's kind of where we understood, okay, there's times and places where we need to be on the attack a little bit more.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I wanted to switch gears a little bit, but just thinking about how Jamie and I both have had kids that were playing Tier 1, now they're playing Tier 2, and there's plenty of families out there that are maybe looking to make the jump up. I don't know how many actually take a step down if given the opportunity, and I'm bringing this all up to kind of ask you, what's your perspective on a young player's development, and whether or not, if they're faced with the choice between saying maybe they have an opportunity to be a bottom third player on a Tier 1 team, or they could be a top third player on a Tier 2 team. Do you think, given the landscape of the sport currently, that for anyone that's got dreams of playing, I don't know, let's say college, right, or playing high level high school, or playing club in college, or D1, whatever the case, go to the pros, do you think that it's more important how much ice time and puck touches they're getting, and not until later on down the road does it really matter the level that they're playing? Do you have thoughts about the landscape of the youth sports, and kind of how parents should kind of look at Tier 1 versus Tier 2 and how that relates to their kids' development?
About 3 years ago, someone told me that a lot of kids were passing up the U.S. program because they were not guaranteed to play in the top 2 lines. And I thought about it, and I was like, you have to be kidding me. I was disgusted by it at first, to be honest with you. And the rationale was more along the lines of, well, if I'm playing third and fourth line, I'm not getting the same opportunities. I'm not playing power play. I'm not getting scoring. I'm not going to be one of the top scorers on the team, and I'm not going to be noticed. And so I think what I took from that was opportunity is so important wherever it is. The U.S. team might be a little extreme for me, just because I don't think you get those type of opportunities throughout your career. But I do understand now that you need to be put in the best position that's going to keep you developing. And if that means that you need to be put in places where you are playing the power play, that you're playing top 6 minutes, that it makes sense to me. That is probably the primary thing. I would say Nobody, I don't know why, but when I try to talk to parents about what the next step should be, I always ask, well, what do the other players on the team currently have to say about the coach? I don't think that gets asked enough. Where what is the culture like? Yes, Johnny's going to play the first line, but if he's miserable, if the practices aren't productive, is that is that a great spot just because it's a highly touted team? So I think drawing from other people's experiences are really important. That's what my parents did, right? They had somebody that was leading the path, and they weren't afraid to ask questions about whether this was the right spot for me. And I think because they asked those questions, it worked out. So I think some people play things very close to the vest because it's a very, I don't know, it's a very insecure kind of thing that's going on in hockey where you don't want the other kid or parent to have an upper hand on you, so you really become isolated with what you're doing.
Sure.
And I haven't experienced that firsthand yet. I've just seen it, or I've heard conversations from other people about it, and I'm starting to open my eyes a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
But you know, some of these kids are at an early age have advisors, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just think you need to find somebody that one cares about you and has your best interest. But if you can talk to somebody that has been through the experiences, I think that's way more important than anybody that has an advisor title attached to them.
Agreed.
Sure.
Yeah. So I have an interesting question for you. And you tell me if I'm off base on this, but I don't think I am, but is it just me, or is the skill level of today's younger players, I mean, Celebrini, Bedard, I mean, Cutter Gauthier, I mean, the list, Zegras, Jack Hughes, right? Is the skill level of the current young NHL player light years ahead of where it was 20 years ago? And why?
I think with the puck, yes. I think they process the game at a speed that people either they either were slower moving and were able to make decisions fast, or they moved their feet a million miles an hour and just blew by people, and the decision making didn't matter. Now they've formed both together, and you get this hybrid of an athlete that is coming a million miles an hour and processing at the same speed, which is just unheard of. Before, it was like me, for example, I could skate fast, but I couldn't process the game. Or you saw guys that played slower, but they were able to process it really quickly. So I think they're mixing the two, that is creating this monster, and it's fun to watch, to be honest.
Yes, it is. It's awesome to watch. Yeah.
Listen, I think we're about at the hour mark, and listen, Ryan, I know you got two young kids, and it sounds like we made it through without any major interruptions. But one of the things that just before we start to wrap this up, or as we wrap this up, I know that you got your hands in a few things, especially I guess like out of the professional season. Would love you to share, where people can find you, like what skills, opportunities people might have to get on the ice with you or work with you. If you could just share where to find you, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm Jersey based in the summer, mostly because I want to be with family as much as possible in the off season. But you can find us at Performance Hockey, which is on Instagram. We're brand new. We started almost a year ago to the day, and it's more video based than anything. We do run some camps and clinics, but really what we want to do is be a platform for coaches and players to kind of get these small clips or short clips that are very distinct, where you could walk away and understand, if my parents asked me what I just watched, that I could tell them what the two themes were that I was looking for, and how it could hopefully benefit my game, and I can put it into practice the following day.
Awesome. Go ahead, James.
So I have one last question for you. You're going to help solve a dispute between Scott and I. So he knows where I'm going with this. So
I'm actually, as just a heads up, I'm going there on Saturday.
I am too, by the way.
Oh,
I'll be at the Armory on Saturday. Okay.
Likewise,
Okay.
dude.
All right. So So, all right. So Ryan, in one of our earlier episodes, I had mentioned that in my opinion, the Red Bank Armory restaurant, cafe, whatever you want to call it, had some of the best pizza in all of youth hockey. Okay? Now, then Scott went there, I would say about a month ago, Scott?
Sure.
And said that he was not a fan. All right? So, two questions. A, has the food there changed, or has the ownership of or whoever's behind the counter changed? Because in my opinion, the Red Bank Armory has some of the best breakfasts, like breakfast sandwiches, muffins, and pizza that I have ever had. But then Scott tells me differently.
So my 5-year-old is in Learn to Skate there and on Monday nights, and we can't get him to eat anything. That snack bar is his paradise. And
yes!
So, if it didn't exist, I don't know what he would eat. So that said, I think
kid approved.
It's kid approved for sure.
I'll take the approval of a 5-year-old any day. 5 or 3, which one?
Well, I get to eat the leftovers, so I know that it's a solid snack bar in terms of a hockey rink for sure.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Well, listen, I'm going for round 2 this weekend. So
I am too,
breakfast
by the way.
pizza, I think, and we will go from there. But Ryan, again, listen, thanks so much.
This was awesome.
A real treat learning about your history, your playing career, what you're up to, and just such a great opportunity to talk with you. So thank you so much for
we'll have to have you back on.
being on the show.
Yeah.
Of course. Thanks so much, guys. And I'll be. You gotta do a pizza review or something.
Yeah. See. Exactly right.
Well, listen, we'll do it this weekend.
We absolutely will do it this weekend, especially if we're at the same time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
guys.
Ryan. Really appreciate it. It was awesome.
All right, take it easy.
Good.
All right, everybody, welcome back from the interview with Ryan Murphy.
Rye Guy.
What do you mean, Rye Guy?
Rye Guy.
Is that his new nickname?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Rye Guy Murph.
dude. So interesting how different the game is on the pro level than anything that I ever thought about. And one of the first things that grabbed me was clearly like how short practices are.
It's shocking.
Like 35 minutes.
Shocking.
And that often morning skates can just like be the practice time.
Shocking. I expected so much. I think I expected so much more. I'm sure you did too.
Yeah.
For on the professional level.
But then when you hear about their schedule and all this other stuff, and you're like,
you get it.
You get it. And then when he was like, okay, when they're at the rink, there's meetings, there's video, there's meals, and it's so highly structured. He's like,
yes,
we can't keep them here for the whole day. I mean, some of these guys have families and whatever else.
And he mentioned they play regularly, so
like back to back, they're traveling.
So they need to make sure they take care of their bodies. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot going on behind the scenes there.
But like for him in particular, just the idea of like some of the work that he does is tailored like specifically to build confidence like quickly for anyone that might be out or struggling with something.
100%.
And then also getting injured guys back to like game speed. Game ready, which is like got to be its own very specific group of like activities that he's doing with those players. Like it's just so
confidence is huge.
Yeah, it's highly focused.
Confidence is such a big part of athletics.
Yeah,
like I mean, you if you see I'm sure people see it with their own kids.
Right.
You see. I'll give you a perfect example. We had a kid on our team suffer a pretty nasty like skate laceration.
Yeah.
Right at a tournament I'll call it 2 months ago. Speaking of, we're going to have Andres DeVilliers, the CEO of Titan Battle Gear, on shortly.
Yeah, so that's clearly we're going to talk about all that stuff.
We're going to go over like skate cuts and stuff like that and protective gear. But so he got injured, right? And this kid was like flying around, blasting everybody in sight before he got hurt. And I have to tell you, he came back from his injury. He wasn't fully comfortable yet, right? So his confidence was low, and you could tell he looked like a different kid for a couple weeks.
Because he was still getting
his confidence was
back.
down. Yeah. It's funny. We've all, I'm sure, seen our kids when their confidence is high and when their confidence is low. It's pretty obvious.
They're totally different players.
Totally different player.
Right. No doubt.
100%.
Yeah.
So I like what Murph's talking about when it comes to confidence.
Yeah, and I maybe he was. I'm forgetting that part. But like one of the things, just like let's just say someone's struggling taking pucks off the wall, right? Like then they're just going to go, and like the skill work could be just for like 10 to 15 minutes before this very short 35-minute team practice is when they'll get on the ice just to do like 15 minutes of like taking pucks off the wall.
Yeah, it's very like, well, you remember Angelo when we had him on. He's like we literally do something for like 10, 15 minutes or like a short video clip, and then we're good. We're done.
And then they're done.
And they're like, yeah, we're good. Thanks. See you later.
Yeah.
Like, well, Angel's like, wait, what? That's what am I supposed to do for the next 45 minutes?
Right. So like he was, Ryan was like, like over a 14-day stretch.
Yeah.
Like they might only have 2 team practices.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Their schedules are wild.
But then also like recovery takes priority over ice time, you know, also.
Does.
And it's like, you know, these teams and these, these owners, and they're so heavily invested in these athletes. And I was talking to a father of one of Ottawa's teammates. The dad is a PT for an NFL team.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
And he was saying how it's like over the 20 years that he's been a part of it, like the difference between the way these players are, number one, taking care of themselves, but number two, the way the staff and ownership want these players to take care of themselves, because these are not small investments. I mean, they probably never were, but like they're extremely expensive knees and arms and
everything,
all of it on
this
the ice.
Is all very expensive. Yes.
So, but
they're also assets that they cannot afford to.
Right, but at the same time, it puts downward pressure on any staff member that's responsible for rehabbing and like getting players back to game ready, because you don't want to put them back too prematurely, but like you also need to get them back as soon as possible.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that kid who is a PT for a local sports team. Is he a younger guy or is he an older guy?
It's like our age.
So it's funny. I just happened to come across this on I think it was Spittin' Chicklets, and I happened to come across it. Somebody was being interviewed, and they were talking about like Brett Hull.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how this like young like PT, where I guess the organization wanted him to like do like a standing jump to like measure his vertical.
Yeah.
Right. Or like something along the, or like put your arms up to see like how it was something along those lines. Yeah. And like and he's sitting there telling Brett Hull after he just scored 86 goals. He's like, listen, I need you to put your arms up. He's like, I need you to jump, and we need to take a measurement. And Brett Hull goes, what? He goes, I'm not fucking doing that. He goes, you know how high I can put my arms? He goes, this high. He's like 80. He's like something like 86 inches or something like that. He's like, for my 86 goals last year. He's like, I'm not fucking doing that shit to like a young PT. Right. And what are you gonna say? You gonna argue with Brett Hull after you just scored 86 goals?
I mean, it depends how serious you are about your job.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. You know, so you're mentioning the young PT that trains. It was an NFL team, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No, he's like our age, but he's been doing it for like 20 years.
Yeah, right. He's right. This was a young kid that was talking to Brett Hull in his like mid 20s, probably late 20s. Yeah. But can you imagine telling Brett Hull and he's like, looks at him, he's like, fuck no. It's like, I'm not doing that.
I mean, no doubt there are players with personalities like that. So
100%.
But,
yeah.
I was also, it got me thinking about we obviously. Talk about athletic performance insight, and we talk about like video review and how in sync like the meetings and the video review and the practice they all are overlapping and consistent, and they're focused so that like at every angle, like whatever it is that they need to work on, it's they're getting it in a very concentrated and like centered. Maybe center's not the right word. I know. Like they're all aligned. It's not like they're necessarily talking about I don't know, like breakouts in video review and then they're working on like penalty kill on the ice. You know, at least that's the way I was what I was taking away. And clearly it's like it makes things efficient. It makes it does, and it provides a lot of clarity, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked what Murphy said about I think when I asked the question like, what was your best piece of like skills equipment?
Oh,
he talked about the passer.
Yeah, the passer.
That was really because what he said.
One? We have one.
I don't.
We have one,
and I'm buying one now though.
Yeah, you are.
I'm definitely buying one. And what he said was, when he said it, I was like, oh shit! Like it makes perfect sense because the puck never comes off the same way. And think about it: when you're playing, very rarely do you have the puck passed to you in the perfect spot.
No doubt.
Right?
Yeah.
So it simulates 100%. It simulates game experiences, where you're going to have to make an adjustment to catch a puck, whether it's behind you, in front of you, on the side of you, on the other side of you. You have to make adjustments. You're never going to get the puck perfect. Maybe you do, but it doesn't happen a lot. Is my point.
You saw that recent clip of McDavid where he took the pass off his skate.
I did.
Went forehand, backhand. Dude, filthy.
Do you remember when Ryan Leonard did that in World Juniors a couple years ago?
Oh yeah.
He kicked the puck up. The puck was passed to him, and it was in his feet.
Yeah.
He kicked it up and then shot it all in one motion.
No doubt.
He didn't even stick handle. He just kicked it and shot it.
Right.
That was retarded.
Yeah.
Like that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, my point is that the passer, as a of his, when he recommended it as his best skills piece for home, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. No, we should.
Those
look
rebounders,
into those. Yeah, I have one in the garage.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's got like a rubber base to it, right?
Yeah,
so it stays
on both sides. It's heavy as hell.
Right, it's very heavy.
And
yes.
I would tell anyone
It's got those clamps on the bottom, so it grips into the ice because you can use it on the ice.
You can
right?
buy it without.
Oh, you
And
can.
I bought it without. So
because you're using it at home, not the
I
ice.
forget the name of it. It's like the one that you see on.
They're not cheap. They're like $200,
no,
right?
But this is what I'll say.
Yeah, but
is
they're
that
good.
If you're buying one for your home, get the bigger one, and I'll tell you why. Because it's even heavier. And when you're passing pucks on, it's going to be less likely to move. I got the smaller one, and I got it
bounces around.
If you're putting it on shooting tiles,
it moves.
It moves.
Okay.
The heavier one might also move, but I
not as
also
much.
screwed studs into the bottom.
Oh, smart.
So it moves less.
Oh, smart.
But it's still not ideal.
So and you have the smooth bottom, not the one with the grippy bottom.
Correct. I don't know if
if you had the grippy bottom, do you think it'd be better?
I'm not sure, but at a minimum, I would say even if you only need the small one, get the bigger one.
I'm going to buy the bigger one
because it's
with
heavier.
the grippy bottom, and I'll let you know. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm going to buy that for Dominic for outside because he likes to practice like one.
Unless for shorts going up against the wall, then if it's
With a
going up
backstop,
against the wall,
then it doesn't matter.
It matters a lot less. But if you don't plan on putting it up against the wall, then heavier is better.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great hockey tip. Love it.
Yeah. The only other thing that I wanted to call out about the interview was also how the ice deteriorates. Like that was the other thing, which I remember, and I shared it when we were talking with him. But like when I had a game as a kid, and it was after a Flyers practice, we couldn't play our game because the ice was destroyed.
Yeah, they chew that shit up.
So
it's
like
they're heavy.
These professional teams are dealing with like limited ice time when they're traveling, like limited access to rinks to a certain extent or a large extent.
It's true.
Like the ice gets chewed up. In order to do individual skill work, it's like it's wild at how it's a lot less practice than I probably would have guessed, or I definitely would have guessed.
Speaking of ice getting chewed up, do you have confidence? I know we talked about it in the intro. Do you have confidence with for the Winter Olympics that the ice is going to be in good shape?
I mean, no.
I guess it depends how much the NHL is involved in it.
I don't know. I mean, the fact that it came out with that there was a hole in it, like
that's what I mean.
It's only a month away. I don't know how. Let's put it this way. I don't know how easy it is to fix that problem.
I don't either.
So it sounds like
we should have like a rink.
But think about this. Like, listen, you build. Oh, we should.
Yeah,
but like you have an ice surface.
Yeah.
Right. I would think that like to have to fix something under the ice surface, which is ultimately like the chilling it. The cooling, I think, is all under like concrete.
It is.
Like if you're getting holes in a certain spot, it doesn't sound like it's an easy thing to fix. But what do I know?
Can you imagine if they had to like pull up the ground under it? Can you fucking imagine that? If like they had to do that now?
Well, I don't think that
there's not enough time to do that. Do they have a backup plan? They have to have a backup plan.
Yeah, what's not too far? With the when the last Winter Olympics were in Italy? Where were they?
I want to say Sochi.
No, that's Russia.
Just kidding. What am I thinking?
They're in Milan now.
What am I thinking? Yeah, you're right. Sochi is definitely in Russia.
We're both typing.
I know, it's ridiculous. Where was it? And how long ago was that?
I don't know. I forget.
Yeah, that's all right. Whatever. My point is that do you think that it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be ready, and not only ready, but ready and good? I mean, because if it's a shit playing surface, that's going to be awful.
Well, listen, they'll probably.
They have to get this right.
At the end of the day, like I'm just guessing, is that like anyone else would guess just based on the information like you see and hear, and it sounds like it's not in a great spot. It's way less than ideal.
Yeah, and
I think we'll only know once when it's go time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I hope the NHL really gets involved and does whatever they need to do to fix it.
Yeah, well, I don't know
because I think a lot of people are looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Especially here in North America between the U.S. and Canada.
No doubt.
Like that's going to be interesting.
Giddy up. All right, man.
Here we go.
Why don't we wrap this one up?
Definitely. Good episode.
Yeah, likewise. Sir.
Should we just tell everybody thank you again for our new listeners who are jumping on board and downloading. That's great. Please share the show, subscribe, go to our Instagram, follow us on Instagram. It's Crazy Hockey Dads Podcast on Instagram. Comment there. And if you guys could, go leave a review on whatever platform you listen to us on, because it helps us. And it's impossible to get reviews. So if you guys could go, especially the new people, if you like what you're hearing, please go give us a review.
Yep,
5 stars is the appropriate stars. Just thanks again, everybody. We will see you soon.
All right. Take care,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Peace.